Welcome to GENXTV. We promise not to make you call us Karen. We prefer Heather. We are the only place where schwing and as if are still part of the daily vocabulary. Grab your trapper keeper and settle in. Welcome our hosts with the mostest rebel Gunny and our very own Gen Z, Celeste, as they crack open a cold Jolt Cola and some Milk Duds to give you their take on the events around this spinning ball of chaos.
Can't do that. I don't know. But anyways, welcome into X. Welcome in on Kick. What's up, GPB? Choo. How you doing tonight? Anyways, we got some cool stuff going on. We're going to be talking about some stuff. Kind of threw a lot of this stuff together like at the last minute, but there was some good information that came out this week. Gunn brought me onto this one. He knows a little bit more about this than I do. Blockout list. Yeah. The Blockout 2024 movement. Why are A-list celebrities losing followers amid the Met Gala outrage? So if you guys don't know what the Met Gala is, it's that big fancy thing that they do.
And this TikTok star here, or this celebrity right there, that picture that you see there, she made a post with that dress on and then did a soundbite of Marie Antoinette's little phrase there, let them eat cake. And it pissed off a lot of people. And then she went on to TikTok to apologize, and that pissed off more people.
See if we can find that TikTok real quick.
Oh, just look up her name. You'll find it real quick.
Let's see, what was it again? What was her name? Boom. It says 2024 isn't the first time the Met Gala's pompous affairs. Yeah, okay, so I don't, to tell you the honest God truth, I don't understand the Met Gala. I mean, I understand what it is. It's like who's who in the freaking celebrity world. They get together and party. That's all it is. It's one big fancy party that they come out with some ugly ass freaking outfits. I'm not going to lie. We don't lie about anything and we don't hold nothing back. There is some ugly ass outfits at the Met Gala. And they spend a lot of money on that shit too. It's like crazy. But if y'all
$75,000 fucking entry ticket. Holy fuck. That is the average income of a family that's one of the reasons why this is going on, is because the ticket costs $75,000 because she fucking said that in her post, right? Which then people are like, but like the average income of families is like $72,000. Get the fuck out of here. Basically.
Okay, so her name is Lady.
Oh my God, it's gonna be some weird one.
I'm trying to find her actual TikTok.
Let me find it.
Shut up, Lady from the Outside. Do. There we go.
My stream better not freeze from fucking looking this up.
All right, here we go. We're gonna watch this one here. So this is what kicked off. Glam, what's happening? Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. We're talking shit tonight on people, not like the drama kind. We're just talking about shit on people and current events. Right now, we're gonna be talking about the Met Gala. How you doing, Glam? Long time no see. Thank you for the follow too,
Kendrick.
But anyways, okay, so back to, for people that are joining in, we're looking at this Blackout 2024 movement, why A-list celebrities are losing followers amid the Met Gala. So I did not read into this because I think the Met Gala is just like totally disgusting. But you know, I know there was a lot of protesting going on with the Met Gala. They had the whole college campus protesting that's going on right now. They tried to wreck it, which didn't happen. And you know, last year's Met Gala was kind of crazy because they had all those Like, what was his name? Oh, there was just a bunch of crazy stuff that happened last year. But I guess now this lady here, lady from the outside, she posted a TikTok that went viral, and I think you should be able to hear it. Let's take a listen.
It's time for the people to conduct.
All right, that's not the right one. That's not the one. Where I'm on her page. Why can't I? Maybe that is her.
Let them eat cake. It's time for the people to conduct what I want to call a digital guillotine, a digitine, if you will. It's time to block all the celebrities, influencers, and wealthy socialites who are not using their resources to help those in dire need. We gave them their platforms. It's time to take it back, take our views away, our likes, our comments, our money, by blocking them on all social media and digital platforms. And I think the first person that we should all focus on is Haley here. Haley Bailey, for your ignorant decision to attend the $75,000 ticket Met Gala and recite "Let them eat cake," while you have done nothing with your 10 million follower platform as people are
I don't think it's the right one, is
we
it?
sentence you to the digitine.
Oh,
That's the lady that you're looking for right now. Is the Bailey?
the Haley
It's
Bailey.
time for the people to
Yeah, the
conduct-
Haley Bailey is who you're
Right.
looking for. Haley Bailey.
Well, let's look for that. Sorry, I thought that was
Mm-mm.
Haley Bailey.
Don't apologize. I had to deal with something in my chat. Dealt with. Okay, so that's the original post that she did.
Cake.
Okay, so let's listen to this one. Sorry, chat. Let's go.
Let them eat cake.
Here, take the bomb.
That's it.
I think everyone's life is
Okay,
valuable
now go
and
to that's the whole clip. Okay.
dignity
Oh,
and
okay.
respect.
Okay, now go to her apology, which is the next one right there. No, down that one. Yeah, no, that
This one?
Yeah. Middle one.
Middle one.
Let them eat cake.
That's such nonsense. I would never say that.
Okay.
Let them eat cake.
So
Oh, wait.
what is she trying to
That's such
say that?
nonsense. I would.
Is she
She
trying
just-
to say that?
You're gonna have to find the one where she's apologizing, but she does apologize, right? And it's just a lame apology, basically. She says that like she was invited, and it's like it's a special thing. Like only certain people get invited. The tickets are $75,000. She says on the post, like it's incredibly. What's the word?
There you go.
I'm making this video because as a creator with a big platform, it is my job
Here we
to
go.
apologize whenever I misstep. 3 days ago, I uploaded an insensitive video poking fun at a creator who was using FaceApp. After a lot of reflection, I realized my actions were wrong, and since this creator also lives in New York City, it was my job to apologize to her face to face. Since we've never met in
No,
person,
that's not the right one.
know that this situation is very
Right here.
Days ago. Here we go.
I also know that
See, I was willing to give you the benefit of the doubt for the rest of the video. You were using a trending audio.
I hate TikTok for that simple reason. Like you go to her channel.
hey guys, I know what a lot of you guys want from me right now is
Yeah, but you gotta remember, if she allows people to stitch, people are gonna
Yeah.
fucking stitch.
Hopefully, I can answer every question that you have about what happened on Monday night. About a week and a half before the Met Gala, I was contacted by E to see if I had any interest in being a pre-Met Gala host. There are usually 3 hotels that celebrities leave from to go to the Met Gala. I was stationed at what's called the Mark. I was supposed to do content with celebrities and on air about their departures to the Met. The Met is one of the most exclusive events in all of fashion. You have to be handpicked by Anna Wintour herself to go. That's the only way that you get there. I was not invited by Anna Wintour. I did not hold an actual invitation to the Met Gala. I was involved only as a host, meaning that the moment that the last attendee left the hotel, I went home and I watched the Met Gala coverage from my couch with my friends. That is also why you haven't seen any photos of me on the white and green carpet for the Met Gala, because I was working at the Mark. And I literally wasn't even invited to the Met Gala, so security would have definitely dragged me out. I paid no amount of money to go to the gala because I wasn't invited. Since I was little, I have idolized the Met. I love the costume.
Okay, so basically she's saying that the Met Gala didn't invite her, but E entertainment, the channel
hired her to be to be a host. Yeah, to hire. She was a hiree, basically. But it just exposed something in a time when the youth feel like they have this cause, that they're thinking about, and where money is going, I think is another one, and they're looking at it now. They're finally looking at it now and being like, shit, if we don't do something somehow, there's gonna be nothing for us and our kids.
Gun as a cause for getting in quote.
You're gonna have to fucking
So anyways, I guess that little clip, that little promo that E did, because that's all she was hired for, was to promo it for E. Because that's what she's stating. She said after that was done, she went back to the hotel and watched it with her girlfriends. She said she wasn't. Says earlier this week, Israel, IDF, blah, 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 blah. We already know that. More than more. Okay, here. What is the Blackout 2024 movement? In an epoch of the digital petition, the widespread campaigns that can be forwarded online, TikTok users have called out Blackout 2024 trend to attention. Deplatforming celebrities campaigning kicked off this week as a clear-cut response to the 2024 Met Gala held on Monday. Blackout 24 is a movement where we collectively block celebrities, influencers who have refused to use their platform for people in need. Their silence has consequences. Okay, I see what they're kind of doing now. Let's see what they say. Did that go over? Okay, there it is.
So there's a trend going around about blocking celebrities, and I am all for it. I want y'all to block every damn celebrity. Block Beyonce, block Drake, block Kendrick Lamar, block every celebrity at the Met Gala. Block them all. As it has been said before, these people have all the opportunity to make change in this world. And instead of using their platform to talk about shit that matters, they use it to make themselves money. That's it. Fuck them. Block them. Our attention allows them the wealth of their reality. We can deny that to them by just ignoring them. So there's a trend going around about blocking.
Okay, so the whole... I mean, I'm with it. I can jump on board with that. Because they do. I mean, seriously, you think about it. Celebrities, I mean, look at all the ones that, I mean, a big one is Kevin Bacon. Look what he's doing with, a lot of things that people don't agree with. He's like, him and his entire family are involved with that. And and who's the others? There's some other people, that have like shied away. Look at the Maui fires with Oprah Winfrey and The Rock and all of that. Even though they tried to do something right, supposedly, but then they got caught, allegedly embezzling money from their funds. But yeah, I mean, I'm down with it. Sign me up. I'll jump on board with the Blackout 2024 because I think they do. I think these celebrities have no clue. They don't use their platform for the right thing. You still here? You're muted. Or maybe I'm muted. Hold on. I can't hear you. What happened? Can you still hear me? Yeah, I can't hear you, dude. Technical difficulties. Gotta love live streaming. What's up, people? What happened to your mic? Might have to come back out and come back in.
Can you hear me now?
He's back, ladies and gentlemen.
Holy fuck. What's going on? But I can't stream for some reason.
Huh.
says in NVINC error, encode API internal error.
Uh-oh. CBC's coming after his ass. They're banning him.
For what?
I don't know. Yeah, but the Met Gala block list, I see what that. I see it. It's a good cause. I'd go for that. Hashtag block out 2024. Let's go. But no, I mean, it is true. I mean, they do use their stuff. I mean, they have a huge platform. I mean, they talk about all this other crap, but they don't want to help. You know, they only want to help charities that help them. They don't want to help anybody else.
That's the issue that people are having these days.
Yeah. But let's see what else is. Anything else about it? Let's see. Haley Khalil criticized for "Let Them Eat Cake" meta. That was the video. Social media is also collectively furious, turned against the model influencer Haley Bailey for sharing a video of herself lip syncing the infamous line "Let them eat cake" from the Sofia Coppola 2006 Marie Antoinette French queen. Allegedly said these words addressing the peasants, the peasants' bread shortage. Once again, as a representative of the royal decadent, the queen was deemed detached from the plight of starving peasants and imagery. Okay, I see what the whole why she was dressed as Marie Antoinette and why she's getting such hate, because she showed up at a $75,000 event per plate, and they assumed that she was a part of the Met Gala, when in actuality all she was a paid host from E Entertainment. Says the damage is already done. Condemned her insensitive video as lines between fiction and reality blurred. Man, that is crazy, though. The Hunger Games viewed teenagers fighting for survival as a televised sport. That is crazy. That off of one little 5-second, not even a 5-second, I think it was like a 10-second or a 3-second clip. With the grand list of celebrities blocking sister popular names such as Kim Kardashian, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Kyle Jenner, Zendaya, Miley Cyrus, Selena Gomez, Khloe Kardashian, Ariana Grande, Doja Cat, Demi Lovato, Lizzo, Nicki Minaj, Travis Scott, Kanye West, Katy Perry, Zac Efron, Joe Jonas, Nick Jonas, Kevin Jonas, the Jonas Brothers, Justin Timberlake, and many others. As the movement has packed up momentum since the Met Gala, the TRT world has also shared video captioning them dropping numbers of these celebrities' online followers in real time. Oh, shit. Yeah, that could be a crazy thing. See if this is. The Blockout Million Games Steam keep going. Oh, wow. They've got it live right there showing the live drops on views. That is crazy. But it just goes back to the whole boycott thing, you know, the Bud Light situation. I mean, there was something in the news I just seen recently that Target is refusing to put out their Pride line just for that fact. I guess I didn't share that. Sorry. Yeah, this is a real live.
Dozens of A-list celebrities are losing hundreds of followers and counting, with the Blockout 2024 movement gaining steam on social media.
Ooh, I'd like to see how that's going to happen in like a week. I'd like to come back like next Saturday and sit there, actually even Wednesday night, and sit there and find out, you know, exactly how many people have lost. Gunn had to restart his shit, I think. to see how many people have actually lost viewership. That is crazy. But goes to show you cancel culture, man. Cancel culture is in full steam. But I do have to agree with them, though. I do agree with them. I think the block out 2024, because they do not do a lot of, they don't do any good unless it benefits themselves. So I don't know if Gunn's gonna be coming back in or not. But it's crazy. Crazy. All right, so what is everybody up to today? How's everybody Saturday? You guys ready for Mother's Day tomorrow? You got your Mother's Day gifts for people that are doing Mother's Day? That was another thing somebody was talking about earlier. It's just like, everybody's like, make sure you go hug your mother. You know, there's a lot of us that don't have a mother. It's like, my mom passed away when I was in my 20s. So I don't have you know, my mom's not around. So it's kind of hard to like do that. So, I mean, I can understand people are getting like, I seen this on a few Twitter line posts. It's like, don't tell people like to go hug their mothers and stuff like that, because a lot of people don't have mothers. Another story is I was kind of waiting for Gunn to come back on. I don't know if he's going to come back on or not, because he totally left me alone. So until he gets back, we're going to do this. Oh, wrong one. There it is. You guys get to see his scary face. So yeah, I don't know if you guys heard about this one here. This happened a few days, or when did this happen? Last week sometime. This rapist. It was actually a pretty sick attack. It was just brutal. I'm not going to show it because of the fact it is all over X, all over social medias, TikTok and everything else. But there was this rapist that literally lassoed this woman walking down the street, lassoed her around the neck, drug her to the ground with a belt, and dragged her in between two parked vehicles, and essayed and did other undespicable things with her, and then left her basically for dead. But they did find him. Good news is they did find him. There was actually a mob. There was a mob outside. See if I can find that. There was a mob outside the where they arrested him. See if this is it. Nope, that's the actual attack. I'm not going to show the attack because, like I said, it is kind of, it was very descriptive. But they did, and that's one thing is like, so like with New York City, they have facial recognition. Okay. They have facial recognition and everything else on all their CCTV cameras. I don't know if y'all know that, but they have the space age facial recognition that goes through and pinpoints certain aspects of everything. So the cameras actually in the facial rec actually caught several different items, his shirt, everything else, and they basically started scanning the cameras, and the cameras found him, and they arrested him. I was trying to find that post that had the mob. Oh, anyways, there was this mob. When they showed up to arrest him, there was this mob that was there with them, and they were they were literally they had like 6-7 police officers standing in front of him and everything else, trying to protect this guy from this mob coming after him. But it's good. I mean, it means there's a little bit of humanity left in the world. I was beginning to think if there was anything left in the world, but there was a little bit of humanity left in the world when that happened. And for once, the facial recognition actually worked, and for the good. You see so many things go wrong with that. So many things go wrong with that facial rec in those businesses and everything else that totally Okay, I was just making sure my audio was going across. I don't know. Where's Gun at? Gun needs to come back in here. Why does that say magic mushroom still? That is not the right one. Hey. For fuck's sake. I can get rid of your picture now. You're echoing now for some reason.
Am I?
Yeah. I took it off. Why did it not? Dude, screenshot hide. Okay, there we go.
I don't know what. Oh, okay. It was on your end.
No, not that I know. Unless I got a browser open.
I don't have a browser open.
Gotta love.
Is that better? See, if I turn that off, or if I mute that, then I can't hear you.
I don't know. It was working fine until you came back in. Yeah, there's an echo. I hear you twice. It sounds like you're in a fishbowl.
I'm in Discord, though. Maybe that's what it is. Or I'll leave Discord. See if that changes. Did that change?
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, okay. There we go.
That was it.
Sorry. Okay, where the fuck did you go, man? Fucking, I don't know what the fuck happened, but a solar flare just knocked out all my power.
Did you hear the? Did you see
this?
The Aribula Nebula or whatever it's called? Yeah. Okay. Did you see the whole? It was all over Twitter. Sorry, we're gonna replay this. That guy that lassoed that lady with his belt and pulled her to the ground and drug her behind his car in New York City. And
what the heck?
Did a bunch of essays and other undespicable things to her, and then basically left her. Basically made her. What he drug her to the ground. Basically, she went unconscious, and he just drug her behind a car with the belt. But they did find him. It took him a few days. See right here, he lassos her, drags her to the ground. I'm not going to play the video because it's like very.
The fuck is going on with people these days? Like, what makes you fucking just walk behind somebody and be like, hey, I want that. I'm going to take that.
Well, that's the biggest thing. Is like when they're talking about these big cities like New York City, Chicago, Detroit, L.A., San Francisco. They've put so much restrictions on law enforcement for one, because the political boundaries that they're facing right now.
Well, those boundaries are always going to be there, but the thing is, though, is that where in the system is this guy slipping through the cracks and not being known as being a legitimate danger and a douche canoe?
Well, that's just it. Okay, so like, what is it? Okay, in Illinois, they have the new law is basically that there's no bail for offenses like, you're basically released on your own recognizances for anything that's not a violent crime.
Well, that's a fucking fight.
But so, I mean,
how is that not a violent crime?
Well, this is. They've caught him. They just caught him today.
Yeah, but is she still alive? Is she still alive?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? She should be able to have him. I don't know, man. I'm kind of like an eye for an eye kind of guy. Okay. Like I believe I believe in humans, but at the same time, I think what ends up the victim needs to be able to have some retribution. I think that this guy needs to be put like in a triangular thing where his legs are spread apart, and she gets to fucking hoof him in the nuts until she's satisfied.
I agree. No, I totally agree with that.
Is that too extreme?
Well,
You
I
know?
mean, what there was one here not too long ago. They actually sent somebody for a physical castration. They actually sentenced the dude to be physically castrated.
I don't want to hear what he did, because it's going to be something fucking absolutely 100% horrible, and it's just yeah.
No, the law, the way in these bigger cities, and it is political. It is a political thing. So, I mean, we're going to jump into political. Most of these cities that have this issue are blue states because of the way that they have trying to revamp their crime agendas to, try to align themselves politically with somebody, with their party. But like I said, you've always got to realize, like, New York City's blue, Chicago's blue, Detroit's blue, California blue, all the major cities in California are blue. That's where you have the most crime, is because their legal system sucks. The cops won't, the cops have their hands tied because of the laws that have been put into place to basically help criminals. Sorry, I got on a cigar kick now.
See. I mean, it's happening up here too. Like it's happening up here too, and it's sickening to only think that it's one. It's the government in general, I believe, because where the systems fail and don't get fixed, right? It's the government in whole, right? It's one party up here, at least. It's one party promising something. Then the other party promises something, and they go off of that shit, and and it just compiles on each other, and it just keeps on compiling to the point where a dude can, literally appeal for stupid reasons. Like that we justifiably, morally, being sound of mind, would be like, what the fuck? And it happened up here. Okay, so Vince Lee is a gentleman up here, very famous gentleman. He beheaded, he ate the ears of this young gentleman on a Greyhound bus, being transported from Ontario Police, I believe, and crossed over the border between Manitoba and Ontario. This young man was just listening to his pods, and got the whole bus, 50 people in that bus, jumped off the bus because this dude proceeded to murder this young lad for no apparent reason, and then did it brutally and took the person's, it was just horrific, and guess what happened to that gentleman? He up here in Canada, he was considered insane to go through trial, which then put him into a sane asylum, and now he lives in the city.
Well, I mean, okay, going back
like,
to the whole
he's
thing.
He's free,
yeah,
amongst everybody. That's how bad compiling that shit fucking happens, where like a dude like that can walk free.
Well, I mean, look at the whole thing, going back to what we talked about last week, with Vitali, whatever the hell his name is, and all these ones that are live streaming these to catch a predator thing. LA County basically told him that the DA is not going to prosecute anymore, so the cops aren't even going to help him. So now he's turned into a vigilante live on stream. And violating, even though, like I said, I'm not defending pedos, nowhere near it, but he is messing up court cases by doing what he's doing, because there's a thing called under duress and intimidation, and that's what he's using. So when it comes to court, all that dude's got to say is like, I was intimidated to say that, or I was intimidated to do that, or anything else, and it gets thrown out of court. So that guy goes back out on the street and gets to do what he wants to do because of stupid people like that don't know the laws and are only doing it for clicks and likes and shares, But yeah, I mean, yeah, our law, I mean, when it comes to criminal, well, if you go back to the whole thing, it's like going back to the legal system. Prisons were first built to rehabilitate. That was the very first, or actually the very first prisons was just to incarcerate. There was no rehabilitation in the very first prison system. And then so when the prison system progressed, and society progressed, then they started wanting to rehabilitate, the prisoners. That went along so far until everybody was getting arrested for every little thing that they were doing. And then now it became to the point to where it was too strenuous on the prison system and the judicial system to rehabilitate these people. So now it's right back. Now it's back to just incarcerating. Well, now with these bigger cities like Chicago, New York, Detroit, and all of them, it's catch and release. If you didn't kill anybody, then you're going to stand trial, or you're going to go in front of the judge, and the judge is going to sit there and do your guilty, innocent, go through the stages. But instead of putting you in Rikers or putting you in prison, in these other cities, they're going to release you on your own recognizances. Because one, of overcrowding, and two, because of the stupid laws they put into place. What is it? Illinois Safety Act. That's what it is. The Illinois Safety Act. See if I can find this real quick.
I mean, I get what they're doing. It's a slippery slope in the whole, like, whether or not you decide you condone what they're doing. It really is, because there are a lot of people that would feel that, like, hey, those dudes deserve what's coming to them.
Yeah.
But at what point are you justice, jury, and executioner? Like, who gets to decide that? No matter,
No, I
why?
agree.
Why not? Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I mean, we're basically with all the vigilante stuff going on. Like I said, going back to, like, Vital and all them, or Vitali, and we're
I want to say something right
degressing.
now that might, like, I don't know, like, I want to say something like, I think that it's more valuable, considering that the United States is always saying that there's an opiate problem. That it'd be more valuable for these dudes that want to do, catch the views and stuff like that, is to go after drug dealers.
What's what I'm saying? Yeah, go after the drug dealers. Go after the domestic violence.
Go on those streets. Go on those streets and stop drug dealers from fucking handing over narcotics and laced fentanyl and stuff like that. Stop them, because guess what? The cops would fucking help you.
Well, the thing is, though, that's too dangerous. I get that's what it is.
I listened to a dude that turned around, this young dude from Canada that turned around and said that he's a thug, if you remember correctly, and that he packs, and stuff like.
19.
If you can do that, man, then go and stop some fucking drug dealers.
I mean, yeah, the pedos need to be off the street, but
do it the proper way. Do it the proper way.
The thing, and I understand, like I said, the especially like this here with Illinois, they got the Safety Act, which was signed. Let's see, Illinois Safety, Accountability, Fairness, and Equality Act. It says it addresses a range of criminal justice issues went into effect. Several requirements to be implemented, including police officers provide aid After using force, all police officers wear body cams by 2025. Confidential mental health screening counseling provided for officers. So basically, they're making these officers. This is in Illinois. They're making these officers basically become street psychologists now, and so that way they can be, criminals can be treated fairly.
This conversation got talked about. Remember, like remember a couple of years ago, we were talking about like defunding police and stuff like that. And I don't believe in defunding police. I think that the training has to be split up. I think that police officers must enforce the law. I think that when it comes to the crises of other people that they're dealing with on 911 calls, that the appropriate crisis mediator is used. So if somebody calls 911 and says, I feel like I'm going to do something bad, right? You bring the police officer to protect the therapist that's about to show up at that dude's door so that they can find out whether or not he needs medical help, brought to a hospital, evaluated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's domestic violence, have a marriage counselor with police show up, sit down with the couple. Like, they don't need defunding; they need more funding.
Yeah, they need to
in the proper areas.
I mean, it's just like, I mean, I believe that, yeah, police officers need to go through some type of and some departments do. Some departments have a de-escalation course, is basically what they call it. Domestic violence is a different thing. When usually, like I said, domestic violence is more of a, it's kind of like crypto. It's volatile. It could look like nothing's happening. And I know more officers get killed in domestic violence cases than they do anything else because of that fact. Because one, they fall into the facade that everything is fine and everything else. So, I've seen videos, back in my training and stuff like that. I've seen videos where cops, have turned their back to leave the residence, and then the suspect, the aggressor attacks the cop. Or, they come to a domestic violence call. It's just like back home when we did our domestic violence call. There was never there was always 2 officers dispatched to every 911 call, every domestic violence call. If it was a domestic violence in progress, we basically sent anybody that was available, so because of the fact, and that's one thing, is the call takers on the other end need to be trained for that too, because if you are getting called in, like we were talking about last week, if you're getting, calling in on a domestic violence situation, those call takers need to understand keywords that are taught, because most of these people that are in domestic violence, they've reached out for help. They've gotten information on what to do when they call in, but that information on a lot of the smaller departments, especially, are not relayed back to like the call takers. So when people
it would be really horrible to call 911 and be like, or go anywhere and be like, I would like to order a cheese pizza, and them not know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
And be like, and saying it out loud, like, hey, like, we don't sell pizza here, Like, I think that, wasn't there like a 999 number that they came out with now, that's coming out right now for mental health or something like that?
988. Yeah.
988.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But no, I mean, even like I said, it even goes back to like going back to the training of the people that are initiating the calls, or that are taking the calls. I mean, like I said, when I used to do 911 dispatch, we used to have a lot of false bank alarms. So basically, like it always happened like right at the close of the banking day. And what would happen is most of these registers, when they take out their money, usually the very last bill that they're not supposed to take out, like one of the very last bills, because that triggers the automatic notification to law enforcement saying that your bank is being robbed. So a lot of the new tellers would take that last bill out, not knowing to leave it in there, because that's what triggered the button. And so we'd get the call, so we'd have to dispatch out. But we'd also have to call the bank while the cops are en route. And we had this little catchphrase that we, gave when we called. We, the like First National, we'd say this is 911, or we wouldn't say that. We would, call we'd call the bank and sit there and say, hey, this is, what was it? This is Mr. Sergeant. I would like to make an unscheduled deposit. Well, that was a trigger phrase for the teller to understand that we are the police calling to make sure everything is okay. And, and most of these new tellers would sit there and go, well, the bank is closing. They would sit there and say that. And it's like, and we would just have to keep repeating that until if they didn't catch on, then we'd ask for their bank manager. Then they put the bank manager on. And then we would say the phrase back again. This is Mr. Sergeant sitting there calling in to make an unscheduled deposit. And the bank manager would sit there and go, okay, no, everything's fine. This is what happened, blah, blah, blah. It's like, then we'd have to go through the whole spiel. It's like, okay, this is, Sergeant such and such with the police department. I have 2 officers sitting outside your door. I'm going to need you to go out and meet with them. But it was always crazy because one of the things is like, we need to know what you're wearing, what color shirt, slacks, everything else, what you're wearing, so I can relay that to my officers when you're coming to the door so they don't shoot you. So
wearing zombie pants.
So, especially some of the women that never been through that call before, they would like, what? That would be their first time. What? I go, I need to know what you're wearing so I can relay it to the officer so you don't get shot when you go to the door. But that's what I'm saying is it's like, yes, I think law enforcement needs to be a little bit more. I think they need to go through a lot more training when it comes to dealing with some of these things. But, like I said, going back to that whole thing with with this dude here being able to walk up on the street. I mean, this is not what normally happens. I mean, this act right here, this instant right here is not what, sorry, I got to like fly right in front of my face or something. But this is not like a normal, I mean, I don't know if this dude's done it like this several other times, but I mean, he seems like he's practiced it quite a bit. He knows how to do it. I mean, he snuck up on her and threw that belt right around her neck and then just drug her to the ground until she passed out. But yeah, the thing is, it'd be nice to, like I said, I think he was just caught Thursday or Friday. So yeah, it says the crime occurred May 1st around 3 a.m. Video captured the moment the suspect slowly moved his belt and wrapped it around the woman's neck like a lasso. Falls back to the ground. The man drags, by pulling her by the belt, just basically just dragging her like a lump of, a bag of clothes or whatever. Takes her behind to the car, and she's already passed out because of the constriction of the belt around her neck. So yeah, they're offering a $3,500 reward leading to the man's arrest. But yeah, they finally found him through facial recognition and everything else. But yeah, it's just nuts. I mean, you have this one here, Westwood just tries to save a woman, save a woman 60 after she was stabbed to death by, for a handbag on a busy street. I mean, this stuff, I know there's a lot of people like Tim Pool and everything else, they come out as like, well, you voted for him, some of these people don't even vote.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
No.
Can I ask you a question? What's this other fucking thing that we're going to talk about? Some woman running over a man.
Yeah, that was crazy. That just popped up on my feed today. See if we can find it again.
Fucking people, if you want to argue with me, I know that he says trans woman and I said woman.
Well, that's what.
Bring it.
That's what the.
Yeah, they got to be more descriptive in the headline. Of course they do, right? Of course they do.
No, so now they don't. They only show like moments of it, but it is still pretty graphic about what happens.
Wow. Okay, I don't want to see like something. Like, was it like didn't see somebody? I don't know, man. Fucking,
So
there's so many.
Don't know exactly what it hasn't all come out yet. Exactly what has happened. But the transgender that she is transgender runs over a 64-year-old man twice before kissing him and then stabbing him 9 times and then leaving him for dead. It says 64-year-old. Let's see here. It's got the whole thing here. 64-year-old Steven Anderson was walking to get the mail when he was hit and run over by Fisher, who then returned to the scene with a knife, flipped him over, and stabbed him 9 times. So as you can see right here,
car speeding.
Yeah. I saw it. Yeah. Let's not. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
So I don't know if it was provoked or if she was just,
yeah,
it could be one of those things, that people.
It doesn't matter.
The thrill.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just a psychopath that needs to be taken off the street.
But yeah, I mean, literally hits him and then backs back over him.
No, no.
Then rolls him over and kisses him. There's people standing around watching this. This is what's crazy. I mean, look at this. There's people fucking standing around watching this shit.
That was in Texas?
Yeah, Houston, Texas.
Oh, you're...
See, look at this. People standing there watching it. She's got a knife. You can see the knife.
Okay, okay. I'm good. I'm good with this. I don't want to highlight this person no more.
But that's what I'm saying. It's just like, what is going on with today's world? I mean, I seriously blame the hydrogen collider.
The title itself, no matter what, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's a psychopath. Period.
Yeah. No. Shit's just crazy. Life is crazy. There was something else. Oh yeah. Our good friend changing gears from that, but
yeah. I appreciate it because that's just, it's gross to me that there are humans out there that can like legitimately do that to somebody.
So if you don't know who Greta Thunberg, Greta Thunberg,
her name is your arch nemesis right now.
Share screen. All right, so Miss Greta Thunberg, she started out. She's the teenager that dropped out of college, or dropped out of high school. I don't even think she went to college. I think she dropped out of high school to be a climate change activist. She was arrested. What was it, like 3 weeks ago? She was arrested at a climate change protest and got recognition from like the Climate Change Foundation over in Sweden or something like that. She got recognition for, doing all of her work. Well, now she's switching gears and now she's protesting. She's advocating for the was it the pro-Palestine? Is she pro-Palestine?
I remember what I said before the show. This young lady, her job is to get arrested. Like that's the career choice that she took.
And it gets her clicks, it gets her likes, it gets her more fame.
Yeah. I can't wait until she has another like verbal bout with fucking Andrew Tate.
Oh yeah, yeah. Supposedly that's who got Andrew Tate all in trouble because
yeah.
She blared off all this other stuff.
Fucking baited the dude, baited that alpha.
Yeah. But Anyway, so this is she was protesting outside the Eurovision, which is the big singing competition over in Sweden. And they're protesting it major right now because there was an Israeli singer that was nominated to be part of the Eurovision. And actually this is like backfiring on a lot of the protesters because none of the other people in there, she's like winning right now. She's like number one, the Israeli singer in the Eurovision. So this protest is like backfiring on everything that they're doing. But I mean, me personally, I looked back, I'm still doing research. There's a lot of research because I didn't get into that whole thing back when it very first started. I know there was a compact back in 1948 that was signed that made Israel a state. Palestine was the original country. It was divided up, and yeah, I just can't get on either side of it. I'm sorry. I'm not religious. I'm not.
That's the thing. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
I'm
not religious either. But I will say that, like, fucking, I don't like seeing humans die.
No.
I don't like seeing kids die. I don't like seeing teenagers die. I don't like seeing old people die.
No. And but my biggest thing is like
I
over
definitely
here,
want families reunited. Like you know what I mean? Like, absolutely, like families reunited. Absolutely, 100%. But like, I think that our parents had it way down pat on the whole protesting thing, but at the same time, they lived in a more violent generation. Don't you remember? Like, there's protests that were in universities that ended up very badly.
Oh,
back then, and now I'm watching, teenagers, or I'll say young adults, not understanding. It looks like that they don't understand the protest. Like, you can't really, when you're protesting something, you can't really have demands. Like, what demands? What do you have that?
Oh yeah.
That any of the colleges are losing? Really, because they already got your money. That's why you're at school protesting.
Well, see, and the thing is like all these protesters at the schools, at the college campuses, the reason why they're protesting the college campuses is to try to get them to quit, accepting funds from all these businesses, because, a lot of colleges rely on donations from these companies and, what do they call them? Donations, but there's another word for it. But they give all these monies like Amazon, Google, all of them give money to these colleges, and all these companies like Amazon, Google, and some of the other ones that they named have all donated either technology to, these foreign countries. Amazon has done, the Amazon's like worldwide for the Amazon Web Service. 99% of the world runs off of AWS. Your banking system runs off of AWS. It's a big thing. So, like Google, I think they're trying to like boycott Google because of the what was it, the facial recognition software that they sent over to the IDF, which is the Israeli Defense Force, and a bunch of other things. But you realize, going back, like you said, back in the 60s and 70s, the big protest back then was Vietnam.
That also went very badly, and then there's a Million Man March, and a whole bunch of really huge protests. But the difference between those protests, I think, were the amount of people that showed up to do exactly what they needed to do, was have like a one conjoined voice heard. Yeah. What I see right now is there's no conjoinment on, like, hey, we got to stop killing fucking humans, period. Because that's the fucking issue.
But like I said, I mean, I don't, like I said, I know the biggest stake in it, a lot of people are fighting on the Israeli side is because of the religious aspect of Israel. You know, I understand the religious aspect of Israel. And in Palestine, you know, like I said, yes, you know, Israel goes back to the days of biblical, but Palestine was actually the country. And it was divided in 1948 by that compact when Israel became an independent or a sovereign state of Palestine. But what I'm saying is the whole protesting things right now, what these college campuses are doing, and these people like Greta and all of them, they're just getting involved because it's media attention. I'm sorry. It's plain and simple. It's media attention. Because one, half of them don't even know what they're protesting against. Like Gunn says, you know, back in the 70s when they protested against Vietnam, there was a consensus. Everybody was trying to get our U.S. forces out of Vietnam because it was a senseless battle. Everybody knew we were losing. I mean, we lost millions of lives over there. And that was the main reason why they were protesting on the college campuses, all for one thing, to get our soldiers back, you know, out of Vietnam and to quit fighting for money. But that's a whole, like I said, you go back to when it all first started, you know, back when the big military industrial complex fucking, you know, kicked off. You know, we were warned. Eisenhower warned us on his departure speech, you know, when Kennedy took over, you know, that this was going to happen, you know, if we didn't control it, you know. So now because there's money in war. We make money off of war. The countries make money off of war.
It's sad to me that, like, both of our countries kind of have like so many fingers like dabbing in other people's businesses, that it fractures almost a unity that exists within, you know, like I go back to like, you know, like with my wife is 10 years younger than me, right? So she was born in 82, and I'm 74, right? So I go back to knowing that she doesn't remember Ronald Reagan. She doesn't know, you know, like she learned it in history about the Berlin Wall, you know, and the fears that our parents had, you know, like but it's gotten to a very bad extreme, you know, like okay, when I was a kid, we were still being taught about the nuclear, you know, like in the 80s, we were still told to go underneath your desk if you heard that siren go off. You know what I mean? In a small town or even in a large town, we were taught that. Now, but that was fine. We were told to go and hide under a desk over a foreign adversary.
Yeah.
It was a foreign adversary. Now, it's not a foreign adversary anymore. You know, like a lot of aspects of things. You know, it's gotten to that fucking man.
No, I mean, it's true. I mean, things have just gone crazy. I mean, the world is, I mean, in the last 4 years, we were talking about this. I was talking with this on a Twitter post the other day. It's just like, they sit there and said there's just so much chaos going on. And if you look about it, you know, it all started 4 years ago when we were all locked up, had nothing else to do but to watch social media and watch all the propaganda being pushed, you know, through TikTok, through Twitter, through, you know, all of this stuff before, you know, and it's still being pushed through Twitter because you don't know what you're seeing is true because now you have AI involved. So you don't know if half of these articles or half of these things you're actually reading are true. So that, I mean, even some of the people that do like the community notes thing on X, you know, that try to debunk a lot of this stuff, they're missing a lot of it because there's so much information being poured out. And there was a speech given by Obama back, you know, in the Stanford speech, I think it was back in 2020, 2021. He basically said, you know, the way to basically destroy it is to spew sewage into the streets through social media, through disinformation, through everything else. You know, and that's what we're seeing today.
Yeah, I don't disagree with the AI aspect of everything because, like, I'm getting tired of Keanu Reeves showing me that he's got a broken leg and that he loves me. Like, Keanu Reeves, enough already, okay? Like, I am not going to that soap place that you keep on directing me to, you know. But
Yeah.
it's got that's gotten great. Up here, it's even worse because up here, our government is planning because we don't put a lot of money in defense like you guys do, and from what I understand, our government is not shy on implementing AI to assist them in the military, which frightens the frick out of me because what if that AI oversees the decision making of that human? You know, so say it says, "Hey, man, you gotta go and do this," and the human says, "No, we can't do that," and then the thing goes, "Yeah, we are."
Yeah.
That scares me, and the fact that that our government would have no problem implementing that right away if World War III happened.
I mean,
that's
like
crazy.
I repeat this a lot every time we have these conversations. You all need to go back and watch the movies back from the late 80s and 90s before, you know, censorship basically got into the movies where it became our political censorship came in, you know, back in the mid or the late 1990s to 2000s. But go back and watch like movies like Wag the Dog, War Inc. I mean, they're comedies, yes, but there is a meaning behind them. There is something that, I mean, even now, even if you go, if anybody's watched the Amazon series Fallout, that, I mean, I watched it all the way through. I mean, yeah, I know it was based off of a video game, but for those, I'm not going to spoil it, but if you guys watched the very last episode of it, it goes to show that our government is destroying us. I mean, not just our government, but every government is destroying us to create one world. I mean, the world, the new world order does exist. It's been proven to exist. I mean, there's several different aspects. I mean, if you go like here in the United States, if you go to Colorado Springs, the Denver or not Colorado Springs, the Denver International Airport, there's a plaque right before at the entrance that sits there and it says was commissioned by the New World Order Commission. You know, so they're not hiding it, but the best way to hide something like that is right under our noses. Because one, you know, look at the whole alien situation. You know, we all knew that there was, you know, aliens out there. They tried to hide it and everything else, but, you know, we believed it, you know. And then when the government came out to try to distract us from everything that was going on politically, you know, they decided to, it's like, oh, yeah, aliens do exist, you know.
You know what? I like the idea of like aliens. I can understand that. I can understand like young aliens, you know, in college.
I mean,
going on like spring break to Earth, just fucking shit up, and then leaving.
maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe that's what everything is going on. Maybe the aliens have, you know, because the rumor was the aliens were supposed to come back this year. The aliens were supposed to show themselves, and I think they're finally starting to do it by doing all this.
Hey, on TikTok, man, I heard that you're fucking. I think it was like last week you were supposed to have like the largest tornado ever. Like it was supposed to be like 14 kilometers long, and
oh, you know how many end of the worlds we've had since, you know, I've been like, I mean, I remember when I think I was in high school. I was living in Colorado Springs with my brother, and the Colorado Springs main paper, I can't remember, the Rocky Mountain News, I think is what it was called, came out front page, end of the world, you know, predicted this date.
Let's show people how different we are. What do you believe in? Like, are you a spiritualist, or is there a particular? Do you believe in the Bible? do you, what is it? Because you know how I feel and what I am. I've repeated it over and over. People call me an atheist, but I'm actually a pantheist, which means that I believe in, like, I believe that we are all responsible uh, to maintain human race, and like everything that I do has a reflection on somebody else. You know, so if I do good, something good's going to happen to me, come back to me through that energy. Kind of a god complex a little bit, but you know what? If you want to call me an atheist, that I don't believe that there's like a one God, you're more than welcome to, but I don't come to your door proving you wrong.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't. I mean, some people call me agnostic because I don't believe.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? I don't believe in religion. I don't believe in the churches.
But you do believe in a spiritual being.
There is a power, yeah, whether it's spiritual or physical or whatever, but there is a power that controls us and rules us. It's in a different, it could be different aspects of whatever. I look at myself more as a realist. If it looks, basically, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's going to be a duck.
I believe that like time was an invention by man. Time is an invention by man. So even if the Bible is there and it says that he built the world and everything in 6 days, what is 6 days to God? It could be 1,000,000 years. It could be 2,000,000 years. It could, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Because we invented time.
Yeah, our current time structure is nothing about, because like I said, I mean, it used to be, if you want to go back biblically, I mean, it's just like the Bible times were, a day was from sun up to sundown. That was a day. And then sundown to sun up was a day, so I mean, it was because we lived off of the solar calendar. That was how they.
Yeah, back in the day, they didn't wake up at like 5 a.m. to go to work. They woke up when the fucking sun came up. So if it happened to be 5 a.m, they had no fucking clue until a dial was formed, and somebody was like, "Hey, let's do this number thing," and then it became a week from Monday to Sunday, and then it became a profit thing.
Yeah,
total profit thing.
I mean, even the calendar that the entire world runs off now is not the real calendar. It was created for business purpose, and basically, it was created for it's just like daylight savings time. That was it was a business decision so that the farmers and everything else would have more time to cultivate their crops. Shoppers would have more time, in certain times of the month to shop. Everything is it's just like, okay, so everybody thinks like the American dream. You know what the whole thing is about the American dream, right? The white picket fence, the big house, the car, 3.5 kids. That's the American dream. The white picket fence. That is basically, I mean, I grew up thinking that because that's the way you were pushed through, television, through movies and everything else. When you watch a movie, you see somebody living the good life. You want to live that way. That's what those movies are supposed to do. They're supposed to trigger emotion and trigger empathy inside you to want to do that. So you'll watch the movie. And so the American dream was kind of like Santa Claus. I'm sorry, I'm going to burst a lot of people's bubbles. I've said this before, but Santa Claus, what we know as the jolly red fat bearded dude, was created by Coca-Cola back in the 1890s as an advertising ploy.
Yeah, I've said this before. My Santa Claus was scary. It wasn't that jolly fucking thing that I saw when
I mean, like I said, Santa Claus was created by Coca-Cola because they were trying to figure out how to sell more Coca-Cola during the winter months because nobody was buying Coca-Cola. So they created the facade of Christmas and Coca-Cola. I mean, I might get a lot of hate, but do your research. I mean, it's all in history. If you go back and read and not be one-sided on things and just do it because that's the way you were grown. That's the way you were raised. That's, you just want to take the easy path. That's what the problem is with a lot of people, is they want to take the easy path. This is what we were brought up on. This is what we were told. This is, so I'm just going to believe that. That's why we're in this whole political fiasco in every country, is because we were brought up to abide by one line of how we're going to live, and the ones like me and Gun that go outside that line and live a life the way we perceive it and the way we think it should be lived, then we get called, traitors and heretics and all this other stuff and every name in the book, because we don't follow that line that everybody was raised to follow. Look back, back in the days of the rebels and stuff like that. It's a reason why we're called rebels. But
man, the only reason that I'd be able to survive in the wilderness is because I have military training. Strictly, if I was a civilian, and only had to rely on what I watch, my family would die.
Oh yeah.
Because I have military training, I am very aware of the hard work that it would take to keep my family alive, but also very confident that I'd be able to do it. You know what I mean? And I don't see that a lot these days at all. And one thing that scares me the most is that, like, I look at us as kind of like being all worker ants, right? And worker ants work together when they're as a large group. And if our large group is divided down the middle in a whole bunch of areas, and that's why everything is going on the way it is right now. It's just like nobody's working together, and that's just on a human aspect of it, because we're all, I'm a humanist, right? We're all human, so we're supposed to all be working together. And if you are a Bible believer, right, it goes to true form, because in the Bible it states that we were put here to take care of what He created. So we're not doing that. Like, why are we not doing that? And we're supposed to be taking care of each other, and we're supposed to be taking care of all the life that He put here. I do not understand why the one book that states that is making people do quite the fucking opposite of that.
Yeah. I mean, then you get that, like I said, that's one of the reasons why, because I tried the whole religion thing,
So did I.
Years ago.
I was really Mennonite.
I was really devout in the church that I was going to. I was actually, in ministry with the church and everything else. I went to church every Sunday, and it was kind of but growing up, I didn't go to church. My mom didn't push me to go to church. She wanted me to make that decision on myself. She encouraged me to interact, and go to the church events and go to church to like interact with other kids, because I was a loner, because I come from a big family, and, there wasn't no brothers and sisters around to interact with when, growing up.
Can you put my picture up there? I feel like Elon Musk is watching me right now smoke a bowl, and I'm getting real nervous. So can you put that picture up? While I smoke this bowl.
Oh, what happened?
I had so much fun today in Call of Duty. Man, I met so many wonderful people on Call of Duty. Like, outside of, like all the other shit that goes on. And anybody that's in the X chat, please share this with everybody so that we get a little bit more people coming in here and checking it out. Maybe having a conversation on chat. I'm watching chat right now on X, and you're more than welcome to come and join us, I believe. Rebel's got the thing for that, and let me finish this bowl so I can stop having that starry looking dude on there.
But no, I mean, like I said, a lot of people, like I said, I don't know. I guess I didn't really like lose my faith. I don't think I ever like faith is a big word. I mean, that's what everybody like.
Right, I'm back now.
That's what everybody like lives on is faith. Which, I mean, we need to. I mean, faith is not a bad thing to have.
Yeah, but do you want to have faith in something that was translated more than fucking craft dinner instructions?
Yeah, I mean,
that's my problem with it, is that like people willingly turn around and say that the text in there is not the original, like language, so it's like, well, and because language has evolved in such a fast format, I mean, kids today think that thumbs up is a fuck you. When we all know that thumbs up is, hey, I need a ride, or hey, you're doing pretty good, I just don't fucking care.
Thank you for listening. If you like the podcast, please share it out to your friends as it helps the channel grow. Also, please leave your feedback. It helps us make the show better. If you have something you would like us to talk about, email us at thenation@rebelnationmedia.net. See you on the next show.